anything else, have I forgot anything else? No. Apparently the full moon is rising, so I am very confused just now, which is good. There's a storm warning for tomorrow, so maybe I'll just stay here and let it ride it out. And that's it. Alright. The most important question is, are you ready for a story?
Yes.
Are you sure you're ready for a story?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the bold stories in the first half and get you all happy. And then when you're having a break, you come back and I'm going to do quiet, creepy, fuck with your head story, okay? So just to send you all home, despairing and miserable and all that kind of stuff. Alright. So the first story I'm going to tell tonight, it's a story about love, okay? Because we know love stories are good, alright? And it's about love and all that kind of stuff. It's a bit like, oh, do you know the film Titanic? Yeah. It's kind of like Titanic, alright? Only there's no boats in it, alright? And there's no icebergs. And there's no Kate Winslet's breast. But apart from that, it's exactly like that. There's love, there's tragedy. It's be going, no, and it will get very, very emotional. So what you need to do now, before we even start, is find your comfort person, okay? Find your comfort person. That they can look after you if you're about to cry already. Just hang in there. So find your comfort person, because this is a journey. We're all going to share this journey. We're going to get through it, but it's a journey. Okay. So the story, it was something that happened in Ireland, 200 years ago or so. And there was a man, and his name was Mike. And there was a woman, her name was Molly. Okay? And they were married. And they loved each other very, very much. And you know the kind of people that love each other very much, you see them, and they're always kind of looking at each other, and they're blowing kisses to each other, and holding each other's hands, and why are you slapping? Well, this two, Mike and Molly, they were very in love with each other, and they done all that holding hands and looking at each other fine. Okay. And they kind of lived, they had to kind of, the wee house, okay, the wee shack thing there. And they worked in the countryside, lived in the countryside. And they're the main landlord, so they didn't have their own house, they had a wee house, a wee bit of land, they rented from a main landlord, right? But mostly they got by okay. And Mike, he would hire himself out as a labourer. So he'd be going out and he'd be digging ditches and, lifting sheep and whatever, building things. He'd done manly stuff, okay? He was like myself, he was very rugged, biceps. And Molly was she worked very hard as well, looking after the house and getting all the ready pots and things and churning the butter and all that. And she also looked after the wee bit of land. So she looked after, they had hens, they had a cow for milk, they had a pig, carrots and potatoes. So she looked after all that, and she'd be selling eggs down the village. So she worked very hard as well. So between them, they both worked very hard, and they managed to make enough money to pay the landlord. Right? And then something terrible happened, and I'm just going to give you a little now. This is time for comfort, friend. You're okay? Something bad happened. One day they woke up, and the lovely lovely pig, the pig had died. Okay? The pig, it came out, its four legs were in the air, egg pig, okay? Like, oh no, the pig is dead. But it got worse. The next day they woke up, and the hens had stopped laying eggs. No eggs! Oh no! The next day they woke up, all their carrots and potatoes, they all went mushy, okay, they were all kind of diseased, so no carrots, no potatoes. So it was an absolute disaster. We're going to pause with the disaster talk. Disaster! That's fine. So, it was an absolute disaster. And so, the pig is dead, the hens aren't laying eggs, the carrots and the potatoes are all mushy. And then the next day, I do special sound effects as well. Hold on. The next day, there was the door was knocked, and he opened the door, and there was the mean landlord, and he'd come for the rent. And he said, landlord, we'd love to pay you, but our pig has died, the hens have stopped laying eggs, the carrots and the potatoes are all washed up. We're in a terrible state now, we cannot pay the rent, could you give us a couple of weeks? And the landlord, who was wicked, he said, no. You will pay me by the end of this week, and if you don't pay me, I throw you out into the street. He said, okay, we'll try and get the money. So that night, Mike and Molly had an emergency meeting in their kitchen, okay? They sat in the kitchen and they were trying to think of what to do, how to get some money to pay the meat. And so Mike, he was thinking, he said, I've got a plan. I could follow the landlord back to his house one day, and I could take a big spade and shovel, and I could dig a hole, and then maybe I could kind of get him to fall in the hole, and then I could build a wall around it, and then maybe put a roof on it, and throw it in a barn, and nobody will ever know, and the problem will be solved. And Molly said, do you know, Mike, that's wonderful. That's a brilliant idea. And I love the fact that you've been reading the husband handbook about coming up with ideas and sharing ideas and being open. So I love this. It's a great idea. But I have a better idea. And my better idea would be this. We still have our milking cow, the cow that's full of milk. So why don't you take the cow to market tomorrow and sell the cow for the highest price possible? So Mike said, well, I'm not so sure. It's 30 miles to market. He said, you can walk 30 miles. You're a strong man, Mike. You're a strong man. He said, oh, okay, I can walk. He says, get the highest price possible. Mike said, okay, highest price possible, no problem. You don't need to tell me. I'm not stupid. I will sell it at the highest price possible. So the next day, the sun comes up, and Mike gets the cow. And he begins walking to the market. Now it's 30 miles to the market, it's a long walk, but Mike he's a healthy man, he's like myself, he's sprocket and strong. But the point is, Mike, he's got very defined things in what he does. Mike digs holes, and he builds walls, and he kind of flexes his muscles and all that, okay? He does not do cows, okay? Cows is women's work. So he's a wee bit kind of put out that he's got to walk 30 miles to a market with a cow. So he sets off with the cow, and he's kind of, as he's walking, he's just kind of trying to pretend that the cow just happens to be in the same vicinity. Okay, so he's kind of walking along, and the cow is a bit embarrassed as well, hanging out with Mike. So that's kind of walking along as well, going. And so they're walking along and walking along. Okay. And then after they'd walked for a wee bit, suddenly Mike heard a sound. He heard a voice. And the voice said, hello Mike, how's it going? How's yourself? And Mike kind of looked around and he couldn't see anybody. And the voice came again, how you doing, Mike? And this time he looked down. And there beside him was a wee fella. There was a strange wee fella. He had a kind of pale green face with like dots on it, like a, do you know, like a cabbage is starting to go off, that kind of texture of his face. And he had little red eyes, and he had a long black coat that came to the ground. And Mike was a wee bit put off, and he carried on walking faster and faster, but the wee person kind of walked beside him. And it was weird, because the wee person didn't seem to be walking, most of he was floating. And he kept talking to Mike. How you doing, Mike? Mike said, you know what? I'm doing grand. Thank you very much. But I'm confused. How come you know my name? The fella said, oh, Mike, I know all about you. I know everything about you. I know you're having a terrible time with the landlord. I know your wife has sent you 30 miles to walk to market with a cow like a woman. I know you're having a terrible time, Mike. I know all about you. I said, well, thank you, but I mean, I have to get on. I have to get to the market. I have to sell the cow for the highest price possible. The wee fella said, Mike, do you know what? Maybe you don't need to get to the market. Mike said, what do you mean? And the wee fella said, Mike, maybe I can buy your cow. I can buy a cow from you for the highest price possible. And Michael to the wee fella said, and what would you give me for my cow? And the wee fella said, well, look at this. And he opened his jacket with this. And he took out a blue bottle. And Mike said, what? A blue bottle? How dare you treat me like a fool? Last night Molly was treating me like a fool. You're treating me like a fool. How dare you? A blue bottle. And the wee fella said, no, Mike. He said, Mike, calm down, Mike. Calm down. You strike me as a very intelligent man, Mike. And I went, aye. He said, Mike, you seem to be the kind of person that kind of thinks a lot. I do. You consider probabilities and futures and all sorts, don't you? I do, yes. You'd be the kind of person that's kind of into existential angst. Oh, aye, I have 2 every morning for my breakfast, yes. Definitely, but you can't be that kind of person. You're the kind of person that considers the future and all the possible outlines and then possibles and the impossibles are all different ponderables. You consider them and you worry about them. You think about the future a lot. I do. And then you make great philosophical decisions based on that. You've got me to a T. Aye. Well, let's do that. Let's do some thinking. Let's do some philosophizing existentially and considering the ponderable futures. Okay. Consider this, Mike. You thinking? I'm thinking. Think about this. You carry on walking to the market, 30 miles with a cow like a woman. Oh. And you get to the market. And when you get to the market, there's a billionaire there from Texas. And the billionaire there from Texas, he sees your cow. And he's like, oh my goodness, it's a rare breed of cow. And he decides to buy your cow for $1 million. And Mike goes, oh, wow, $1 million for my cow? Do you really think that's going to happen? Do you really think that's going to happen, Mike? Do you think that's likely? Oh, okay, maybe not. I'll consider this, Mike. You walk to the market, okay? You walk to the market, you get there with your cow, and suddenly there's hundreds of husbands with cows. And there's a glut of husbands and cows. They're trying to sell their cows. You only get a penny for your cow. Mike goes, oh, that's very, very sad. And then the girl says, oh, consider this now. You walk all the way to the market. You get to the market and you sell the cow. And you sell it for quite a good price. And you're quite happy. And you're coming back home. And you've got a smile on you, and you've got a skip in your step, and you're tapping your pocket, and you're feeling quite cheerful. And then bandits see you. Bandits see you, Mike. Oh no. They do, the bandits see you. They see you skipping, they see you smiling, they see you not got a cow anymore, they figure you get money, they come on, and they jump on you, and they kill you stone dead. Oh my God. They kill you dead, and what would your mommy think then if you came home without their money, without their cow, without a breath of life in your body? Oh my God, what can I do? Take the blue bottle! I'll take it! And he grabs the blue bottle and he holds it to him, and so I won't die! No, you won't die! Oh, thank you very much! Oh! And he looks at the blue bottle, and you've got to give me the cow. Oh, sure, no problem. Passes over the cow. So Mike is now standing there with a blue bottle, having got rid of the cow, having avoided terrible futures, and he's feeling quite relaxed. Okay. And he's about to walk away, and the wee fella says, Mike, I did tell you were a very clever man. Mike said, oh, you did? Well, see that blue bottle you took? That was the cleverest thing you've ever done in your life. Taking that blue bottle. Oh, is it? Yes. Because Mike, what you're going to do now is you're going to go home with the blue bottle. You're going to take the blue bottle and you're going to put it in your kitchen table. And then you're going to walk around the table 3 times and then you're going to call out, bottle, do your duty. And see what happens, Mike. Mike goes, oh, that sounds fabulous. I'll do that right away. So he starts heading home. He's a bit thirsty because he's been walking a cow. And his phone went off, and he was like, oh my God, the cows are trying to get in contact with me, okay. So he walks home. He gets home, and he's home very early. You know, Molly expected him back, evening time. He's back very early. And she's kind of looking at him. And she says, where's the cow? I've sold the cow. Don't worry, Molly. And he grabs her and he gives her a big kiss. And Molly kind of gives him she gives him the wifey look, and she looks at him. What's happened to the cow? Don't worry, I've sold the cow. Did you get a good price for the cow? Molly, love of my heart, I got the best price ever. Wait till you see what I got for the cow. She's like, okay, show me. So he opens his pocket and he takes out the blue bottle. And Molly looks at the blue bottle and oh my God, she was so enraged. Mate, you fool! You've swapped the cow for a blue bottle. And the rage was on her. He's saying that it's magic. You just put on the table, you're going to do it. But the rage on her, blind, red rage. And the next thing she threw herself at him. And oh my God, Molly, she'd always been complaining about how poor they were. And how poor their cups and saucers were, and how poor their pots and pans and their knives and forks. Well, for the next 5 minutes, she took every cup, every pot, every pan, every knife, and every fork. And she clattered them with them. You're full of a man, you're thankless, each of you. And she was smacking him, and he's going, oh, you just pulled it out, put the table out, and 3 times out, do your duty, ow! And the rage was on her. And finally she stopped herself because she knew she had to stop. She didn't stop, she'd kill him. So she managed to take a breath. Oh, she said, oh. And then she looked at him, and she looked at the bottle, and she said, okay, we'll try it. She takes up the blue bottle, and she puts it on the table. She grabs a hold of Mike. She drags him, she walks round, dragging him behind her, goes round the table 3 times. And she looks at the bottle and says, bottle, do your duty. And the next thing's a wee puff of smoke. Poof. And out jumped 3 wee men. And the wee men were carrying a big long silver tray. And on the big long silver tray there was 2 golden plates. And there was knives and forks made out of gold as well. And there was a beautiful decanter there. It was all studded with diamonds and rubies. And it was filled with marvellous champagne. And there was all sorts of marvellous foods and drinks and all sorts. And they laid out the table. And Molly suddenly got a meal, this beautiful meal on gold and silver and diamonds and everything. And she looked at Mike and she went, oh, Mike. Oh, Mike. Oh, you're the best husband ever. Oh my goodness, Mike. She helped him off the floor. She wiped the blood away. She stitched his ear back on. They sat down and they ate this wonderful, wonderful meal. And when the meal was finished, the 3 wee fellas jumped back in the bottle. And they left the golden tray and the golden plates and the decanter all studded with diamonds and rubies. They left it for them. And oh my goodness, the next day they went all the way out to town with all the gold and the silver and the diamonds and everything. They went to the bank and they got money. Lots and lots of money. They were up there wearing rags. They came back wearing fancy rags. Bits of string to tie the trousers up, really nice bits of string. They got a donkey and all sorts of it. It went wild. And that night, they were kind of sat there looking at each other. They still had the blue bottle. And one was looking at the other was looking at the one, and they said, we'll try it again. And they said, okay, we'll try it again. So they put the bottle on the table, they went round 3 times, bottle, do your duty. And you know what? The 3 wee fellas came out. Silver tray, gold plates, decanters filled with diamonds and rubies, fabulous food. In fact, every night from then on, more gold, more silver, more diamond and more rubies, and suddenly they were rich. So rich. So of course they bought a new cow, they bought a new pig, bought new hens, new carrots and new potatoes, everything. And of course they sent money off to the landlord. And life was grand. And they were very, very, very happy. And they were married, so they were allowed to have sex. So they had sex. And then they had babies. And this was wonderful. And every night they'd be getting more gold and silver to take up to the bank, coming back. And they had 2 children, okay? They had 2 children. And they were getting them presents as well. They were getting nappies and all these diamond studs to hold them together. They had so much money. They were feeding money to their pig. Okay, just, the pig looks hungry. Feed it 1,000. There you go. Oh my goodness. They were shredding the money to make the things for the poor hens to sit on for their bums to be nice and warm. Oh, they had so much money. They were sending money off to their relations and all manners of the world. Boston, Knocknacarra, all sorts of things. It's so much money. And they were so happy. And then one day, there was a knock at the door. We'll do special things again. And Mike opened the door. And who was there but the wicked landlord? And Mike said, "What are you doing here? I've been sending the money off to you." The landlord went, I know. I'm not here for the rent. I'm just here because I'm curious. I noticed you used to be quite poor, but now you seem to have a bit more money. Mike said, "That's right. We're no longer poor. In fact, we're rich. We're absolutely filthy rich." And the landlord said, "How did that happen?" And Mike, he couldn't keep it to himself. He blurted it out. He said, "Well, I'll tell you what. I met this fella, I swapped a cow for a blue bottle, we've got the blue bottle, we put it on the table, go around the table 3 times, say, well, do your duty, and these fellas come out and give us gold and silver and diamonds and all sorts of stuff." And he'd do it every night. And the landlord went, "Whoa, can I buy your blue bottle off you?" And Mike looked at him, and Mike said, "No." And the landlord went, "Oh, Mike, that's amazing. You've said no." "I have. I don't need your money." "Mike," says the landlord, "you've shown yourself to be almost a gentleman." And Mike said, "What do you mean, almost a gentleman?" He says, "Well, Mike, to be a gentleman you have to be clever. You've proven yourself clever. And you have to have money. You've got lots of money. But there's one thing you really need to be a proper gentleman. You need to have your own property. So I tell you what, Mike, you give me the blue bottle and I will give you the deeds to the land and the house." Mike said, "Oh, I'll do it." Yes, he did, the fool he did. And he got it. And he got the blue bottle and he handed it over to the landlord. The landlord handed the deeds to the house. And of course Mike was very happy. And that night, Mike and Molly were all sitting there, the 2 children. He said, "Molly, I've got news for you. I've swapped the bottle for deeds to the house." And Molly went, "That's great. That was a really good idea. Because now we've got our own house and we've got so much money in, there's bags of money there. Well done, husband." "Oh, thank you, wife." Okay. So things were grand. Now they owned their own house. And they were still in sacks of money, and they were having a great time. They were still sending money off all over the place, and having parties, and buying rattles without diamonds for their children, and feeding money to their pig, and having a great time. But what they didn't realise was all this money they were just throwing around, there was no more money coming in. And one day they woke up, and they looked, and they went to the sack there to get some money, and the money was gone. No more money left. Oh no. Next day they woke up and their new pig had died. And the next day they woke up, the hens that laid eggs, the hens had stopped laying eggs. And of course the next day, the carrots and the potatoes had turned to mush. "Oh my goodness," said Mike and Molly, "what are we to do?" So they had an emergency family meeting there. And Molly said, "Mike, we've still got the new milking cow. We could try again. You could walk to the market with the new cow and see if you could find that wee fella and get another blue bottle." He went, "Okay, that's a great idea, Molly. Nothing could go wrong." So the next day the sun came up and Mike began walking with the cow. And he's walking at 30 miles with the cow, and he's trying to carouse up with the cow, and the cow's trying to carouse up with him. And he's walking on, and he heard the wee voice. And the wee boy said, "Hello, Mike, how's it going?" And he looked down, and there was a wee fella with a long black coat and a green skin on his face. He said, "Oh, it's going grand." And the wee fella said, "And what's it like being rich?" Mike said, "You know what? Rich was wonderful. I really enjoyed being rich. However, I'm poor again." And the wee fella said, "How come you're poor?" He said, "Well, the thing is, I lost the blue bottle, but I've got another cow, and I was wondering if you had another blue bottle, could we swap again?" And the wee fella, he kind of looked at Mike and he went, "Okay, give me your cow." So Mike pushed the cow over, "Get over there." And the wee fella in his jacket, he took out the blue bottle and he gave the blue bottle to Mike. Mike grabbed the bottle and he was so happy. He was so happy, he ran home with the blue bottle. Oh, he came into the house. "Molly, Molly," he said, "I've got another blue bottle." She's like, "Fantastic." And the wee children going, "Yeah." And Molly's going, "Yeah." And Mike's going, "Yeah," because he's a man. "Yeah." And so they've done the whole thing. They went into the kitchen and they put the bottle on the table. And they went round the table 3 times, Mike and Molly, and the 2 wee children skipping around the table happily, went round 3 times, and they all called out, "Bottle, do your duty." The next thing was a wee puff of smoke, and out jumped 10 huge men. 10 huge men, each of them with a big club in his hand. And the next thing, bang, 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 bang. They beat them all to death. And the moral of the story is this: if good fortune comes your way, do not fuck it